What is up, nasties? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Joaquin Gage to my right. I'm Hernan Salas, and our lovely producer, Zach Kubusch, is along with us as well. Fun show on tap as the Edmonton Oilers keep on rolling. 2-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning last night. It was a fun game, even though it was low scoring. Very fun game. Lots of chances, some cheeky plays, some great goaltending. We'll break it all down here on EST. Of course, highlights, lowlights coming your way. We got 3 clips. As you can imagine, there's 3 goals in the game, Gager. But the Oilers' goals, it's not so much the finish, but it's the passes that led to the goals that we want to look at today. And one bad goal against. We have to break it down. It's highlights, lowlights. 120, 140, Hernan's World. It's going to be wrestling themed, as it's a big birthday for one wrestler that's still active right now. So we're going to have some fun with that. So all you wrestling fans, make sure you're locked in. And hour 2 is wide open. What do you want to talk about? As we're raw dogging this one today, Gager.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. I think we should. Have you seen the videos of the Bissonnette brawl?
Yes.
A little bit. It's too bad the cameras are. I mean, how embarrassing is it that those, how many guys was it? 6 guys?
Yeah.
6 guys couldn't keep one guy down. Great job by Biss. But I wanted to see him just stroke one of them. Because you knew if he stroked one, that was, and I think he did. He couldn't see from it got behind some bushes there. Because that's when he said he kind of caught a guy coming at him. But, what a bunch of losers those guys are.
Yeah.
To go at all 6 of you going after one guy, that is weak. Weak mentality.
That's what it would take to get me down.
Oh yeah, I would. I would. I don't know what I'd do in that situation. You try to think of what you'd do. I think I would be biting, clawing, scratching, anything.
Well, you're in survival.
I would.
Right?
I would have gone full Mike Tyson. There wouldn't have been any earlobes left.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's when you're pulling out the Ric Flair, the poke in the eyes. Yeah. That's just everything. If you want to listen to us, hit us up on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Just hit the listen live or go to TuneIn or the iHeartRadio apps. You want to watch us, of course, you can go to the EST YouTube channel. You want to chat with us, the Nasty Chat on YouTube, or text 780-218-9999. And we're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the cities. You want to hit us up on Twitter at Yag Sports Talk, at Hernan the Man, at Joaquin Gage 31, and at Zachary HMK, and Instagram also Edmonton Sports Talk. Reed Wilkins, he's the best promoting this show with the basketball stuff. And today he had a special guest, Trey Ford, joined in on the action, Gage. I don't know if you saw it yet. It's on Twitter. It's pretty. It's probably the best one to date.
I did see it. It was cool for seeing Belzy and ask some questions that I think that you don't get to get into the mind of a professional quarterback that often, right? So I liked hearing some of those things. I guess we'll just have to wait and see of the Aaron Rodgers documentary and get into the real mind of a psychopath quarterback. Are you going to watch that thing?
No, I have no interest in that. None.
Come on.
No, seriously, none whatsoever.
It's not The Matrix, man. You can watch it. I know it seems sci-fi, but it's actually real life.
Aaron Rodgers, I have no time for that man right now.
Part of me is interested. I mean, I don't like him. I think he's a complete catastrophe. Like they say it, a guy that doesn't want to be in the limelight, wants to be left alone, and he makes a documentary about himself on Netflix. Come on. And he's in the jungles taking ayahuasca with war paint on.
Boy.
How do you not want to watch this?
I don't.
Disaster. It's a train wreck.
I'd rather watch The Matrix.
Back to back, baby.
That's a train wreck as well. I like Rob from the Grove says first. Bronco Nick says deuce. Mitcher says tres. Katie says quattro. Real nice, boys. Make sure you're hitting that.
Cinco seis.
Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up as well. Let's get to over 100. We broke a record on Monday. Let's keep going, see if we can continue to get higher and higher when it comes to the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It just gets more eyes on the shows, on the station, and we'd greatly appreciate it. So 16 thumbs up so far. We're only 8 minutes in, so it's a good start, but keep hammering that. Gager, if people want to get our take, just watch the post-game show from last night, right?
What?
Just if people want to get our reaction to the Oilers win last night, just tune into the postgame.
Yeah, they should. I mean, that's we were holding back. I thought we laid it out nicely last night for the listeners of how that game unfolded. The one thing I've kind of seen online and some people talking about that they were expecting an offensive game last night. And although if you didn't watch the game and you see it, it looked like a defensive battle. I thought there was a lot of offense in that game, although it didn't show up on the scoreboard. But there were good chances to score, good plays made. Just because it wasn't shown at the end of the game on the scoreboard, I still think there was a lot of offense in that game.
Well, let's talk about it. 2 good goals by the Oilers. They get a bounce on the second one. Vasilevsky tries to play the puck, goes off Hedman into the net.
Those are the hockey gods, though, because the offside goal, right?
Exactly. The Kucherov cheeky breakaway move, like at first glance, it looked like he lost control. Then you see the replay, and he's just, you got to be, only guy like Kucherov would try to pull that off. It was great. If it, would have not been great if he scores that, but I think we all would have celebrated the balls on the guy to do that move in a close game.
If, McDavid does that and he doesn't score, it's fine. But if Podkolzin does it, you're like, dude, shoot the puck or whatever, right?
Yeah, what are you doing, man? It's Derek Ryan. You're like, no, buddy, just put it on net, hope for a rebound.
Actually, Derek Ryan's really good on breakaways.
He is. I want to talk about Vasilevsky. I know he lost the game, but man, what a goalie, Gager. He had 4 breakaways, ladies and gentlemen, and he stopped 3 of them.
Yeah.
And they were McDavid and Draisaitl on the breakaways. It wasn't guys that don't have offensive skills and all that. It's a pleasure to watch that guy play in net, man.
Don't get too horny about the breakaways, buddy. That's goalies have the advantage most cases, but it was those, but it was more so just his movement. If you just watched him move around in net, he does this unique thing to track the puck if he can't see it. He stands up tall, super tall, to look over guys and then looking around. His puck tracking is. Well, it's one of the reasons he's one of the best on the planet, if not the best goaltender. But it's just effortless, man. He moves around the net, and I was trying to and it's not even close. But sometimes you see a small guy move around, and they look really, really good. If you watch Dustin Wolf play, he looks good,
Yeah.
But it's because of the size. Vasilevsky moves just as good as these guys, and he just plays perfect. And another thing that went into I had it written down last night and I wanted to talk about of similarities between other goaltenders, and Vasilevsky always played that I wish Mike Smith would have played, because he was the same type of size, and Mike Smith was a really good on his feet, good skater, but never played on the goal line all the time. He's played so deep in his net. You watch Vasilevsky, he's up, back, side, takes things away. His some of those saves were they looked so routine last night, and they are very, very difficult saves. There's a reason why I think it was Eric yesterday that said, didn't he say the Tampa Bay Lightning go as far as Vasilevsky takes them, basically.
Those were 2 good teams. I really liked what I saw from Tampa Bay. Braden Points is a star. Even Brandon Hagel, the work ethic, all over the ice. He had, I think, 100 family members there because he's from here, which is awesome. So I thought the second line, it was funny because early in the second period, I was about to talk to myself because I was here by myself, obviously, and just say the second line's not doing anything, and then they turned it on. I thought Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Kapanen were really good in the final 40 minutes. Kapanen with a big block at the end. He made some plays. He was noticeable, and that's a good thing. Derek Ryan only played 6 minutes, Gager. He was the only forward under 10 minutes. And I look at it this way. I think once you get Arvidsson back and you get Kane back and you might get Noah Philp up here on a regular basis, a few guys are going to be looking over their shoulder when this team gets healthy.
Yeah, and we touched on that yesterday, that it's needed with this team to light the fire. I think just knowing that you're going to be in the lineup every single night isn't always the best strategy to motivate players, to keep them honest. If you're sitting out in the press box watching games and you finally get a chance to get in, you're going to show the coach that you're willing to do anything to stay in the lineup. So there needs to be that a little bit more of that sense of urgency, I think. And it's difficult because the Oilers have put themselves in a situation where it makes it tough. But there was a signing today by the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes, let's get to that. The Oilers claimed defenseman Alec Ragula from the Boston Bruins, right shot blue liner, selected 67th overall by Detroit in 2018, has appeared in 22 career NHL games with 1 goal. Depth guy, probably going to the minors. Gager, he's 24 years old. I mean, sure. Is there an injury in Baco? Maybe. I don't know, but I don't see this guy on the big club at all. I think it's just another minor league move for some bodies. And
was he
forward.
with they picked him up on waivers though.
Yeah, but he must have been called up, but he hasn't played a game in the NHL this year.
I don't know. I have to check the rules on what that is, but I think he has to stay up with the big club for a bit, right?
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
So I think Dermott would probably go down.
Good. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I should do my homework on waiver claims.
We should both be doing our homework on waiver claims, buddy. But it's what we have to talk. I think you might see this guy. Right shot. It's what they've been kind of looking for. But you don't want to mess with chemistry too much. You know, like you definitely have something with Kulak and Nurse, and maybe this is it. Maybe you're just getting someone that can another guy that can play in your 6-7 spot. Because that's
better than Stetcher and Emberson. Because I can't sit here and say that because I've never seen this guy play. Right? So.
And Emberson's, it's tough to say he's looking good because you're just not noticing any mistakes. I think that's a great sign.
Yeah. I said it yesterday. You guys burst out laughing because I'm like, I don't even notice him anymore. Yeah. But that's a good thing for
for him. Like I noticed a couple hit. Like he's physical. Good outlet passes a few times, but I didn't really. I might have to have the ISO cam on him.
Yeah,
tomorrow night.
I think he's been good. Wadding Cloverdale says a Rugula sounds like arugula. Thus, he's going to hate him for sure. Can you guys explain the video review at the end of the game? Even if it was definitely in the net, wouldn't have been moot because it was played with a high stick. Yeah, that's the play. It was blown dead because it was a high stick, right?
What?
The goal that was called off at the end to tie it.
No, I think because there was they said on the broadcast there was an incident. I always wondered about this, and I always thought it shouldn't be a goal, but if you hit it with a high stick and it hits the opposing player and it goes in the net, it's still considered a goal, even though it's a because the other team's the last to touch the puck, but. It's weird, right? So when there's a high stick, your team can't touch the puck. But if the other team touches it, the play goes on. The play is not whistled dead. But the fact that Darnell tried to field that like a second baseman and fell down, it was a good thing that they were wearing the road blues or and Skinner in there because you really couldn't get a good glimpse. I think it would have been close, but Darnell did come in with kind of a swooper, and maybe it was under. He made sure that you couldn't really see that and kind of fired it out. So
it was the right call, definitely. Close. It was close because they took a little bit long to review that, Gager. And I was like, don't go to overtime, please. The Nature Boy says, hey, boys, love the show. We were at the game last night down in the club seats, and there was a guy sitting next to me who had never seen McDavid live before. To say he was amazed and speechless would be accurate. His exact comment was, holy bleep, 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 bleep. Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does.
He's a one hell of a player. We'll say that. But that first, I want to know if you watch that, bro. What do you think was said in the scrum after that first goal? Because if you watched it, everyone starts laughing, and even Connor McDavid starts laughing. Leon's laughing. Everyone's laughing, and I think it was somehow due to him not scoring on the first breakaway and Vasilevsky making it look quite routine. But then he scores on the second one and comes in and there's a snicker from Connor. Leon said something in there that was quite funny. But again, nice to see these guys finally having some fun.
Yeah, they're having some fun for sure. And Rip City Step says Nylander's bro on waivers could be another big day, Hernan. Tomorrow, no. And then Haji says, good explanation, thanks. I don't know if he's being... no, he's he likes what you said there, Gager. And Sobykirk, not sober. Yeah, I think Paul was trying to do that, right? Kind of a stupid rule in my opinion. The Oilers also 0 for 2 on the power play. The first power play that they got early in the game was just atrocious. No other way to put it. But that's probably one of the only things you can really pick at. And then the PK 2 for 2, they're coming around, Gager. They're hot right now. And it's going to take a while for them to get over that 80%.
Yeah.
Because of how bad they were to start the season. But they're rolling. The power play still leaves you wanting more. I know it was early in the game, and the narrative is, Gager, that when you get a power play that early in a game, teams are usually off. But
who says that? It's the first I've ever heard that.
Yeah, well,
I've heard like it's always the opposite. You don't want to give a power play to the other team because the best players come on the ice, and usually now they get some touches with the puck, start feeling better about themselves, and then it kind of goes their way. The fact that you want a power play early, I think. I completely disagree with that.
Well, on the opposite side of that, they say because some guys haven't touched the puck yet, you're not into the game. And then Louis, I like because Jack brought that up, and then Louis says, "I don't care, get pucks on net. I don't care what time they came in. You have to be better on the power play."
Yeah, I was. That's the first time I have ever heard that it's not good to have a power play at the beginning of the game. That kind of that shocked me. I thought I heard it wrong at first, but yeah, no, you want a power play at the beginning of the game. A, good ice. B, well, at home it's perfect. You got the team that's on the road kind of on the ropes already. And C, your best players are out there touching the puck, starting to feel good about themselves. Maybe it doesn't go your way, but now at least they're into the game.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brewhouse for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brewhouse can help you raise funds for your crew. Details in store or online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. We're well on our way to 100. We got 30 thumbs up. Let's keep those rocking. Let's get to at least 60 by the first hour, 70 if you're feeling generous. And don't forget to subscribe to our EST YouTube channel. Up next, highlights, lowlights with Joaquin Gage and Hernan Salas. And here's Zach Kubusch with your sports update.
Alec Ragula has been claimed off waivers by the Edmonton Oilers from the Boston Bruins, with Ragula having 1 goal in 22 career games. And the Rangers and Sabres throw it down before Jacob Trouba and the Ducks battle the Senators for the only 2 games in the NHL tonight, with the Oilers back in action against the Wild tomorrow. On the court, the Raps throw it down with the Heat, while the Pistons play the Celtics, and the Kings meet the Pelicans on a 3-game NBA slate. And in baseball, the Jays have picked up Angel Bastardo from the Red Sox in the Rule 5 draft, marking the first time the Jays have made a Rule 5 draft selection since 2018. And the Red Sox made a move of their own, trading for Garrett Crochet from the White Sox in exchange for Braden Montgomery, Chase Medroth, Kyle Teal, and Wickelman Gonzalez. This sports update has been brought to you by Capital Care Foundation. Give the gifts of Christmas spirit this year with the Capital Care Foundation. For just $25, you can bring Christmas alive for a senior living in Capital Care Center. Donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. EST Afternoons returns just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Celebrate the season by creating space for your holidays. Sentinel Storage. Affordable and flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Text us 780-218-9999. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Go back and watch. Well, all the shows here are great, but Trey Ford and Gavin Cobb joined Matthew Wannick and Sean Bell today. Great stuff on the second hour. You can tune into the first hour, too, because Tommy was on there, and Tommy's a beauty, too.
He is a beauty.
He's an absolute beauty. They're having a Nielsen Show draft tomorrow about Christmas things. I don't know the specifics.
Did you ever partake in a draft?
I did too, back at the old station.
Yeah.
I did a video game.
You did?
Yeah, top video games, and then I did superhero. I finished second in the video game and third in the superhero.
You did superhero?
Yeah. I had an insider. I got a guy that helped me and gave me a list because I had no idea what to do.
You pulled your old school's hot takes, you were a man of the people. You were the people's champ.
I was people's champ and hot takes. Hot takes. So, and Reed's filling in for Jay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. That's Reed's first draft with Tommy, Lieutenant Eric, and Dusty. That's going to go throughout the hangout with the Commissioner Quinn Phillips in the house as well. So it should be fun. They're always fun to see who goes. Dusty always plays to the audience. We'll see. And remember, the last one he was supposed to do is when it was the first couple of days he got sick.
Oh.
And Trev stepped in.
Yeah.
He was not happy with Trevor's pick.
No, he didn't. He didn't like that.
No, he did not. So tune into that. And, of course, if you want to listen to all our past shows, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasting platform, whatever. Wherever you download and listen to all your podcasts and music and all that fun stuff. Let's get to highlights, lowlights here. Where do you want to start, Gage? Or do you want to start on the low light and then finish off on the positive?
Let's finish on a positive here.
Okay, let's go, Zach, when you're ready. I can see when you're ready there. Let's go with the Tampa Bay first goal, which is, at the end of the day, Evan Bouchard is such a up and down player, mostly up. He's really good, Gage. We've seen him the last few years in the playoffs, and he's been excellent. He's been one of their top defensemen. So, but if he can get this part out of his game, I think it's going to help him in the long run, but he has to stop making plays like this. So whenever our guy Zach's ready, here it is.
What I hate first is it's a great play by Stuart Skinner to move the puck.
Yes.
Tape to tape. And right there,
Yeah.
boom, right back to your partner, your D-man. And what happens? Everyone comes back in the zone,
Puck
starts
watching.
scrambling around. But the fact that you looked like you had full control.
Yep.
And then everyone's like, oh, how did we lose that? And then Derek Ryan gets caught. But perfect. Skinner gets it, boom, quick.
And
right
then-
here, D to D. Or
Right
back
there.
behind you.
Yeah.
Back behind you, like around the boards to your partner. Not splitting two Tampa Bay players trying to hit it far side at the red line. Like, just play the percentages, especially against a team like Tampa Bay, man.
Yeah.
Like that they feast on things like that. If you make those types of mistakes, you're not going to be successful. And look, it's not the sexy play.
No.
The sexy play is the 80-foot bomb and going back the other way. I understand it. But, you've got the puck on the wall. You're in good position. All you have to do, hard back around on your backhand, and you can come right up the other side with Ekholm. Didn't like the play. And then, of course, what happens? It ends up in the back of your net.
Yeah, so culprit number one, Evan Bouchard. I didn't like you said, Derek Ryan gets caught puck watching a little too late when he gets to Gensel there. So Derek Ryan, maybe that's why the coach wasn't too happy with him and played it 6 minutes, Gager.
I can't put that on Derek Ryan because
No.
that like he's coming back looking. He sees a guy in front, and then there's another late guy coming because Bouchard's what's the word lollygagging back to the front there, going. Well, what's going on here? Like it's like he.
Hi guys.
Hey, all right, and then so Derek Ryan's trying to do the job of two guys.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, little bit more urgency. Bit more urgency.
What I didn't like though, Gager, and you make a great point, is the four guys that are in the corner. They're all staring at the puck. No one's shoulder checking.
No, but again, I kind of it's the play. Derek Ryan's trying to recognize where the danger is, and he sees a guy in front of him. He doesn't shoulder check behind him.
Yeah.
But he's caught. He's playing a 2-on-1. Bouchard should be coming back and taking somebody.
For sure. So just it's overall excellent game by the Oilers. That's one of the few blunders they had. And Evan Bouchard, you saw him after the goal. He was upset with himself. He knew he was going to land on EST Afternoon's Highlights Lowlights segment. So that's probably
Great.
why he was so upset. Let's get to the positives here. This is the first goal of the night for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, McDavid scores a beauty, but I like the passes before that kind of got the puck to McDavid and Draisaitl. So let's roll the first one here. It's just great rim around by Darnell Nurse, not panicking there. Kulak, awesome off the boards pass here, right to Draisaitl. And then boom, it's all she wrote. But those initial three plays, Gager, is what I want to highlight as an extreme positive for this team.
And I don't know who the Tampa Bay player was there. I think it was Eric Zoolander, and only turns right, can't turn left, because what a horrible read on this play. But really, what started it was the great play by Kulak.
Yeah.
Gets he's coming up on his wrong side. This is where you go, God, you want guys on their right side. How brilliant is it of Kulak to go, you know what, I'm just going to use the boards on this, and puts it, boom, tape to tape.
Because some guys would try to force it, right?
Yeah, just try to bring it to the, he does, no, okay, that's fine, I'm just going to hit it hard off the boards here, read it. I mentioned it yesterday on the post-game show. Kulak, obviously a frequent visitor to the billiard clubs out in Stony Plain as a kid, and spent a lot of time at a pool hall, because you don't get a better bank pass than that. Yeah,
and I want to point out, the video for some reason didn't show it from the initial start. That's on me. But Darnell Nurse, the rim around to Kulak. So it's two really, really solid plays. And then when Draisaitl and McDavid connect, it's going to be magic. And the second goal, we got to give props to a guy that takes a lot of heat in the city. Once again, Leon Draisaitl mentioned it in his post-game press conference that media needs to be nicer to Darnell Nurse. He takes a lot of heat. But I just want to say this. Darnell Nurse took a lot of heat last year in the playoffs early this season. But I think it was fair. And I think he would have sat there and he said, hey, guys, I know I have to be better.
Yeah.
So when he's playing well, we got to give him kudos. And he's been really, really good lately, Gager. And he's finally playing like we all know he can play. So it's great to see. So I want to highlight this. Just look at Darnell Nurse's pass here. I love this angle. Head up. Just a solid sauce pass. Look at that pass, Gager.
It's pretty sweet. It's hard to miss that burger flipper of a paddle that Leon's got there, but no, it's the recognition right away, right? Intercepts the pass, gets back, head up, looks, recognizes the play, and it's not, he's not dusting things off. He's getting the puck up very quickly. Craig McTavish had some great things to say about Darnell Nurse, obviously a draft pick of his, and he's just so versatile, right? Yep. And I think, Darnell Nurse is a great defender. He is. He can be one of the top D-men in the league. There's a reason why there were rumblings about him possibly, maybe not making the team, but was talked about with the Four Nations tournament. And I really think that the fact that his game is simplified a lot. There's simple plays. We're showing Bouchard trying to make something out of nothing, or trying to create something that really isn't there. You don't see that with Darnell Nurse, and that comes from a little bit more confidence too. I think he's playing with extreme confidence, I would say, because there was multiple times where, this is a long pass, but the 8 to 10 foots were just hitting guys in stride on the tape.
Yeah.
Weren't behind him. He was that's what you want as forward group, right? Turning back the other way and getting that puck quick.
No, it's great to see because when he's struggling, Gager, he maybe doesn't attempt it, or he goes just to a short pass, or he misses it.
Or he tries to do way too much.
Yeah.
Or beat a guy and try to make it even, that's not really there, instead of just that easy play.
Yeah, and kudos. And we're all hard on Darnell Nurse when he struggles, and it's part of the game when you're in the media. You got to call it how it is, but we're also very, we'll give the player their flowers when they're really good. And I think Darnell deserves it. He's been really good for the last month or so, month and a half. He's been excellent. And I said it yesterday in the post-game show, if the Oilers can get that top 4 defenseman and Darnell Nurse continues to play like this, and you know you're going to get a little bit better from Evan Bouchard, your top 4 is going to be very scary heading into the playoffs, Gager, because Ekholm, you know what he brings. Evan Bouchard, if you can turn into Evan Bouchard from late last season playoffs, you're good. Darnell Nurse playing like this with a guy, an upgrade on Stetcher, and then you have your Rock Kulak on the third pair with whoever, Stetcher or Emerson. That's a very good decor. Gager.
I don't like where you're going with this. I don't like it.
I love Kulak. I just
Kulak should play with Nurse. You saw the bank pass. Doesn't matter.
So what did you think of highlights, lowlights? An ugly turnover by Evan Bouchard for the first goal. Of course, he's got to get that play out of his game. I'm sure. Do you think the coaches though are like, because remember when Draisaitl had a brutal giveaway that led to a goal last week? Where they're like, that's offensive, guys. So like, we don't want to like.
Oh yeah. I mean, but again, that's how far is that pass? 100 foot. You know, It's a 100-foot pass. Like, come on. If they're on a change and there's no one there, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But you have to be 99% that's going through and not hitting somebody.
Let's get to some messages on the nasty chat. Mike says, Gager, please stop staring into my soul. Look at Hernan. You're making me nervous.
Stop it. Just zoom in. Get a good glimpse of the baby Browns here.
Sobe Kirk says, Kappa Ryan should have been on the slot guy, right? And we talked about it. They're a little bit late and they get caught puck watching
That's
a bit.
the problem with a giveaway in your own zone. That's what gets people running around. So Ryan can get, a little bit too overzealous to get back to the front, sees the guy open where realistically in that situation, he's responsible for the late guys coming, but he's trying to do another person's job. And that's what happens when those kind of broken plays happen, right?
Yeah, and Kirk adds, one highlight, Dry knocking down that saucer pass was sick on his breakaway goal. Yeah, it was. And then Penner's Pancakes, Bouchard's potential contract still worries me. I think it's going to be a big overpay. We're going to be talking about him every single post-game show. And listen, he's not having a year like last year, which is a good sign for the Oilers because they're not going to have to extremely overpay. But I'm with you, Penner's Pancake, because I think I said this a month ago or so. You can't have Darnell making 9.25 as well as he's paying. Nothing against that, and then pay anywhere from $8 to $10 million for Evan Bouchard and still need a number 1 defenseman. That you can't. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle Mr. Evan Bouchard going forward here, Gager. But
it's tough too because although they freed up some cap space because the real deal James Neal finally comes off the books, but you got the
Jack Campbell.
The Jack Campbell, it's not great. I always thought, I guess, because really he would have had this year and next year if you would have kept him, correct? That would have done it. And I think his cap hit in the minors it wasn't the full 5, it was like 3. I guess it had to be done, whatever.
Question for you from Rip City Step. Do you think the wingers don't come back as far into the zone when Bush has it because they know he can spring them? No excuse for that pass, as the only play open there was a reverse around the boards. Good pressure by Tampa and an awful read by Bush. That's a good point.
Yeah, you want players coming back and coming up as a group. I've always, how you see goaltenders, sometimes they'll, on a change or everyone's saying they go to fire it up to the guy standing still at the far blue. A lot of times in the second period there because it's the long change. Unless you can, it's a real clear-cut breakaway. And I was victim of this too. It was the sexy play to hammer it up there. But the player at the far blue has no support. His feet are standing still, and he's got 5 guys coming at him from the opposing teams. But it usually just comes back the other way. Once in a blue moon, the guy goes in and has a good shot or gains the zone. Same type of thing with I understand a stretch guy, and maybe that stretches out the neutral zone a little bit. But to me, if you were to go watch a practice and see how the neutral zone regroups that teams do and gather speed, you want to be flying through the neutral zone and hitting that offensive blue line with speed as you go in. Hence, watch Connor, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to get to a break, but our producer is not in the studio. So we'll keep going. Sailor text 780-218-9999.
I guess we're just going here.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Jays' newest addition? If this is the only move, I'll be pissed. But if there are a few more moves with a power bat, I'm all for it. Sailor from the Hammer. P.S. For the record, I'm convinced I'm the reason Hernan is back on the airways, the power of the mitt. So he's a gentleman I saw in 2023 when I went to Hamilton.
Oh, yeah?
And it's pregame. Guys are warming up. I'm walking the sidelines, trying to look cool. And someone's like, Hernan. And I turn around, and he has the mitt from Hot Takes. So I was like, what? And he took a picture of me and all that. So, on the trade, they get all-star second baseman Andres Jimenez, awesome defensive player, not really good at the bat. I think there's more definitely coming for the Blue Jays. But they got a guy that's all-star for one, the way he plays defense, but you need a few more guys that can hit. So we'll see what happens here. What does this mean for Bo Bichette and all that? But I know Toronto Blue Jay fans are really down on this team right now, and we'll see if Mr. Rod Atkins, who's public enemy number 1 in Toronto right now, if he can do something that's going to appease the fans, because right now he's failing mightily right now with the roster construction of this team. So we'll see what happens there. All right, our producer is back, so we can go to break. Perfect timing. Hernan's World is coming up next. It's going to be wrestling themed. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Of course, we want you to chime in as well on the Nasty Chat or at our inbox. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, and here's Zach Kubusch with a sports update.
The Edmonton Oilers have claimed defenseman Alec Ragula off of waivers from the Boston Bruins, and the 24-year-old was drafted originally by the Red Wings in 2018, having 1 goal in 22 career games. And on a 2-game slate, it's the Senators facing the Ducks and the Rangers dropping the puck against the Sabres, with the Oilers back at it tomorrow. In the NBA, the Raptors hit the court against the Heat, with the Kings battling the Pelicans and the Celtics meeting the Kings. With 3 games in the association. It's the Pistons and Celtics and Kings with the Pelicans. Out east, Angel Bastardo of the Red Wings, or the Red Sox, Jeepers, has been selected in the Rule 5 draft by the Blue Jays, with Toronto making their first Rule 5 pick since 2018. And back in Boston, the Red Sox have traded Braden Montgomery, Chase Medroff, Wickelman Gonzalez, and Kyle Teal to Chicago in exchange for Garrett Crochet. EST Afternoons returns just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road Park. Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
.143. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach, Kubusch in the house. Jeepers Creepers.
Where'd you get those peepers? See that movie? Jeepers Creepers?
I think I have.
It's a scary one.
Not 100% sure. I've seen a lot of movies in my life, Gage.
Not Matrix.
Except for The Matrix.
Thought you'd race home and watch that after yesterday's.
Buddy, I got home late, man.
I bet you did. I felt bad for you. I was going to stick around with you, but then I was like, no.
No, I was all good. Because Reed came on, and then I left Reed and Tommy talking, and I kind of just chilled in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Took myself off camera. Took a quick 2-minute nap.
Did you?
On the mic. Yeah, so. No, they're long days, but they're fun, especially when the Oilers are winning. But right now, it's time to get to Hernan's World, brought to you by the Garrison Curling Club. If you and your team are looking for a fun and exciting way to build some chemistry, look no further than the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Curling Club. Located on CFB Edmonton, the Garrison Curling Club offers 6 sheets of ice, a full-service bar with kitchen, and includes all equipment needed for corporate bonspiels. And the Garrison Curling Club is run by Nasties. As an added bonus, they will offer 10% off ice rentals to all EST listeners. Email curling at egmgolf.com and mention EST to book your corporate bond spiel today. Nope, that's not going to work.
I can hear it, though.
Let's wait. I don't know. It's just a setting here. It's nothing on Coop, so it's not. Oh, wait, it might be.
Or do not. There is no try.
You didn't try hard enough.
I got to connect to the stupid roadcaster. I thought it was connected. That's on me, guys. I apologize for that. Hey, where are you getting all these sound effects? I love it.
I have them. You know the board that's right beside you there? That
I have them too?
Yes.
Yeah, you can just press the button.
Oh, my gosh.
Even I knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Why did you guys tell me this?
I thought you did know.
You suck.
Why did you guys tell me this? All right. Okay. We'll play the good old Latino Heat intro at the end. How about that? We'll go the opposite way here. But, guys, it's going to be a fun one for WWE. As today, Gager, if you didn't know.
What?
Well, you probably don't. Rey Mysterio. You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the wrestler, a little short guy.
Yeah, it looks like when he finally took off his mask. Wasn't that a part of? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was part of the shtick that you couldn't see his face.
Well, it's a big thing not to reveal yourself, right?
A luchador. Yeah.
So wasn't that kind of Vince McMahon puffing his chest out and making him do that where he didn't really want to?
It's interesting. I think his son's in wrestling now.
Oh, really?
And they have like a shtick. Yeah.
The guy looks 5.
Yeah. It's crazy. And he has crazy eyes, too.
Oh, yeah. He's got those husky eyes.
So Rey Mysterio turns 50 today.
Holy smokes.
He's still fairly active in the wrestling game. So in honor of that, guys, we're going to have some fun. Again, Zach left the studio again. Jesus. What's going on right now, man? So we're going to go with, because his move is that's why I need Zach here. It's called the 619.
619.
Okay. I don't know what it consists of, but I think it's because of the area code.
Oh, really? I thought he does a 619 in the air.
It's a very, I think he's in the air and he does cool stuff. Like, if someone knows, please let me know. But the move's called 619.
Okay.
So I want you, all of us, are going to share our top 3 favorite wrestling finishers of all time. Finishing moves. Who wants to go first?
No, I'll go first because I remember, because I loved wrestling as a kid. and it was great. And it was a move that my father did to me all the time. It was the Jake the Snake Roberts, the DDT.
The DDT.
He would grab. I'd come around the corner, all of a sudden he'd grab me and go DDT and DDT me. It was
that's dangerous if you don't know how you're doing it.
Well, yeah, it might explain a few things though too.
Okay, so that's your first one. Zach, give me one of your favorite finishing moves in WWE history.
Well, honestly, I played WWE on the trampoline all the time as a kid. I was friends with one of the kids when I was younger just because he had a trampoline and we could play
So last
WWE.
week, it's
Yeah, when I was 19. So I'm surprised we didn't break any of our bones, but we were all Gumby, and I would always pick up my friend's little brother and do the choke slam on the trampoline.
Oh, the choke.
So is that Undertaker?
Yeah.
The
That's
Undertaker,
Kane, isn't it? Or what did Kane do?
Well, it's a bunch of guys.
Both of them. Okay.
Undertaker's was the best. The choke slam.
Okay, I'm going to go with mine of one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, the sharpshooter, Bret the Hitman Hart.
You like the sharpshooter?
Yeah, sharpshooter.
Okay. Wasn't that the
You want
Sting's
to
move
put it
too?
on me here while we're on air?
I don't want to put anything on you.
You've never been in the sharpshooter?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I couldn't be put in the sharpshooter.
So
Was
the
that Shawn Michaels? Or no, he
No.
put him him
No,
in
it's
it.
Shawn Michaels with
Was
sweet
the
chin music.
Sweet chin music. That's
So the
what his was.
sharpshooter was Bret the Hitman
Okay.
Hart. So that's mine. Gager number 2 for you.
I mean, it's the first one that we tried in the school ground and to see if we could do it. It's a classic, the old figure 4 leg lock.
Greg the Hammer Valentine. Remember
Yeah.
he used to wear the shin pad?
Yeah. And he'd twist it
yeah.
before he put it on. Like that made a difference.
Yeah.
God, did that guy look hungover every time.
Oh,
hey?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was Ric Flair's move for a while, too, back in the
Ric
day.
Flair did it too.
The figure 4. Have you ever been in the figure 4?
Oh, yeah. I've been in the figure 4.
That's a good move, man.
It is a good move.
Yeah,
Like
and
I was
it
like,
hurts.
oh my gosh, how do these not break people's legs? Because as a kid, you do it and press down on it, and you'd like almost bust a guy's leg. It was great.
Zach, you're number 2.
My number 2, it's got to go to Randy Orton's TKO.
Oh.
Randy Orton slithering through. Watch out, watch out, watch out. And then that was a big internet thing, too, which I appreciated.
I mean,
you could do that to anyone, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think this is top 1 on a lot of lists, and the guy that did it was just awesome when he'd come in and there's like 20 guys in there and he'd give it all to them. The Stone Cold Stunner, man. The stunner. And the Stone Cold Stunner is one you can do on your friends, on whoever you are, right? Just to kick to the gut and then just boom. So Stone Cold Stunner for me is definitely in my top 3. Your third.
Well, as my palate for wrestling increased, and I moved towards the NWA it was NWA back then.
NWA, yeah.
Yeah, and it was such a different wrestling because I don't know if they had to get out of town or they were late to go to the bar, but sometimes these guys would just go in the ring, do their finishing move within the first 5 seconds and leave. So and I'm going with a tag team here. The Rock and Roll Express had a double drop kick where they'd come in, and these guys were just late to go into the bar because I swear they would run into the ring, throw a guy against the ropes, double drop kick him, cover 1, 2, 3, and leave. Match was over in like maybe 2 minutes.
Zach, your last one.
Well, another one I like to imitate was John Cena's attitude adjustment, the fireman carry or whatever, and he just dropped him on the side. Did that one a lot on the trampoline, man.
My third one's going to be Mankind when he had Socko.
I put a sock in his mouth?
Yeah. You can do that with anyone in your life if you'd like to. After a long days of work, just take your sock off and give him the good old Socko. That's but that was like the funniest one though. Like, come on.
I met Mankind or
Mick
Foley in Hershey, Pennsylvania. We were playing the Hershey Bears, and we went to the chocolate factory, and he was in there with his wife, who was extremely attractive, and his kid. But he looked like Mick Foley. Like he had on a plaid shirt and sweatpants and shoes. And you know how those white shoes, if you never put them on, but they're like slippers, and you fold down the heel. That's what it was. Like, it was crazy.
So Reed today did like a mock Royal Rumble on that Chat GP.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had a move called the salsa spin.
Oh, the salsa spin.
The spinning salsa or something like that.
That's
So
good. I'm
That's up
trying
there
to
as
think
well.
of some. There was some great finishing moves, man. I want to think. What was Dusty Rhodes? It was just a big elbow, I think.
He would just dance, remember? Right
Yeah,
before the big elbow.
he'd hand jive. He'd do the hand jive or whatever. And was it? It wasn't Ronnie Garvin or Garvin. It was the Garvin stomp. Like he'd just walk around and keep stomping on the guy. But some of the
Yokozuna?
that was good. I liked the Andersons, Arn and Ole Anderson, because they would they were a tag team.
Yeah.
And they would single out a body part and
Just go at it.
They'd keep doing they'd beat the crap out of some guy's arm the whole time, and he would finally submit. Like they just focused on one point. I thought that was brilliant.
I'm surprised no one's picked Hogan's leg drop because that's
It's
epic.
terrible.
But it's epic.
Yeah, but it's terrible.
It's historic. It's everything. When you were a kid and you saw that leg drop, you knew
I never
was going
liked
to
it.
win. The People's Elbow.
I mean, I like The Rock. It was how do you not like
Exactly.
The Rock? It was when he finally burst on the scene. I still remember, and I'm pretty sure Jeff Ulmer's his name. He was I think he's the assistant coach of the San Jose Sharks. We played on Team Canada together, and we were out in Calgary, I think, at Cowboys, and we got into a cab, and wrestling was big, and you've had it too. I apologize to this cab driver that we were in, but Jeff kept asking him questions, and every time the cab driver went to answer, he goes, "It doesn't matter what you think." So he kept doing it. So where are you from? He goes, "Well, it doesn't matter where you're from." I was dying in the back. He hated us. I think he dropped us off 2 blocks from Cowboys that night.
It was Yokozuna, the Earthquake, which I think was a butt in the face. Rikishi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What was ravishing Rick Rude's? He got him up on his shoulders? Is that what he did?
It was like a full Nelson, wasn't it?
Oh, the full...
something like that.
The Sting... Well, didn't he have the sharpshooter? Wasn't that his? Or is the Scorpion or something like that?
I don't know what Sting. I was never a Sting guy. But Goldberg had the spear.
Yeah, they hated Goldberg, hey?
What was Brock Lesnar's? He had a good one, man. He'd pick you up like this and then kind of reverse you and drop you on
right.
Drop
That
you
was
on
a
your
scary
face.
guy.
Bronco Nick says Sting had the Scorpion death drop.
Okay. Oh, you know what? It was great. I loved. How do you not like the Randy the Macho Man Savage flying elbow, off the top rope across the ring?
He was the best.
Oh
man.
yeah, man.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Didn't like the Warrior.
No. He would just pick you up and kind of.
Yeah. Those guys were so full of steroids.
Our good buddy Brian Swain says Rick Rude was the Rude Awakening.
Rude Awakening. Yeah, that's good. That's
Remember the big Fat Volsky? Come out with a towel. He was kind of like Rick Rude.
Yeah. Oh, the big. Yeah, he would come in and say derogatory. God, that was a great time. The big. That was for some funny ones. That he had some great lines.
If someone can send me Shane McMahon's finishing move, because he was awesome. For a guy that's not a wrestler, that learned how to be kind of a wrestler, he was awesome. So what's your favorite wrestling finishing move of all time? We got a bunch coming into the inbox, a bunch coming into the nasty chat. Do you think the Stunner is number one all time?
No.
Because I was looking at a bunch of lists today, and they had Stone Cold number one.
I mean, it was great because he would do it unexpectedly. He'd be in the ring with Vince McMahon, and you knew it was coming at some point, and then they would shake hands, and all of a sudden, and then he'd just turn around, kick him, and stun him.
Oh, sorry. This list has Chris Jericho's Walls of Jericho is the. No, that's number 11. Sorry, I am reading the wrong list here. No, number one is. No, they don't have number one. What the frig?
Did they get rid of the pile driver?
No, I think it's still there.
Didn't Greg the Hammer Valentine? He did the pile driver too, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Scott Hall's Razor's Edge. That was a good
the
one.
Razor's Edge, right?
Yeah, and I think Kevin Nash had the same as Undertaker and Kane, was just a big choke slam because they were so big, right? Triple H Pedigree, is that what it was called?
Pedigree. I don't know.
Yeah, because the Tombstone was Undertaker's finishing move.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the reverse pile driver.
Sweet Chin music's pretty good, though, from Shawn Michaels.
Never liked that one either.
You didn't like it?
No, I wasn't a Shawn Michaels fan. What was the Edge's finishing move?
Ooh. Anyone know out there?
Anyone know?
Come on, we know we have a bunch of wrestling fans. What was Edge and Shane McMahon's finishing move? That's what I need to know here. Do you remember the Boston Crab?
Oh, wait. Iron Sheik. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Pat in the county. Love this chat, boys. I put my friend in the Boston Crab. He kicked out. I hit my head on his concrete basement floor. Then I remember his mom waking me up to see if I was all right. That thin foam did nothing. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Tell me if you were wrestling with your buddies at one point back in the day in the unfinished hard as rock basement, and who got knocked out? At least someone.
Me and my cousins would wrestle all the time.
Oh
man.
yeah. Oh, gross.
Rip City Steps says the cross-faced chicken wing, Bob Backlund.
Oh, the cross-faced chicken wing. Where do they come up with these things? Like,
oh, I love this.
I mean, I remember back in the day we would talk about Dark Side of the Ring or whatever. Like, it
so
was
good.
So good, some of those stories. Just these guys were absolute maniacs.
Coast to Coast for Shane. Yeah, I always loved Shane McMahon. He was great.
He had daddy issues. You could tell by that documentary.
Juan says, how much money to receive a stink face from Rikishi?
Didn't he jump in there with his butt? And yeah.
The best was when The Rock stuck Vince McMahon's face on Rikishi's bum. Yeah. Oh, man. Jerry the King Lawler, when he was broadcasting, that was the best.
Oh, it's too bad we don't have Uke for this because he would know all these things. But the Bundy splash, King Kong Bundy, and he'd put him in the corner and just run up against him, and then he didn't do the 3 count. He would go 5, and then the ref would have to do 2 more.
My nephew says Edge was the spear.
Probably the spear. I think that's what it was.
He was awesome, too.
Yeah.
Good old Canadian boy. We'll get through all your texts on your favorite finishing moves in WWE coming up in the next segment. We'll continue the Oilers talk. I want to talk to Gage about Gary Bettman and one team that I can't believe where they sit in the standings. We're going to break it all down in hour 2 here on EST Afternoons. Keep those thumbs ups coming for wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, hit it. Let's get to over 100 today. Hour 2 of EST Afternoons. Up next, Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. We're back after the break.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Alec Ragula has been claimed off of waivers from the Edmonton Oilers from the Boston Bruins, with Ragula having 1 goal in 22 career games. Elsewhere, the Rangers and Sabres slow it down before Jacob Trouba and the Ducks battle the Senators for only 2 games in the NHL, with the Oilers back at it tomorrow. And on the court, the Raps go at it with the Heat, while the Pistons play the Celtics and the Kings meet the Pelicans on a 3-game NBA slate. And in baseball, the Jays have selected Angel Bastardo from the Red Sox in the Rule 5 draft, with Boston trading for Garnet Crochet from the White Sox in exchange for Braden Montgomery, Chase Medroth, Kyle Teal, and Wickelman Gonzalez. EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
EST Afternoons, Wednesday afternoon after a big Oilers win over the Tampa Bay Lightning by a score of 2-1. If you missed it in the first segment, Joaquin and I recapped the game, gave you highlights, lowlights. We'll continue the Hernan's Roll conversation in this segment, and then we'll talk some Gary Bettman, who's has an anniversary today, Gager.
Does he?
And then one team that I think we're all going to be shocked of where they sit in the standings today. And keep communicating with us. Nasty Chat on the EST YouTube channel. You can watch us there as well. Text us 780-218-9999. You want to listen to us, iHeart or the TuneIn radio apps, you can also hit us up on the good old Edmonton Sports Talk website. Just hit the Listen Live button. And, of course, we're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is why they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. Gage, we were talking about some moves. The camel clutch was the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
The good old sleeper.
I don't know how we missed the sleeper. I'm looking them up right now. The Triple H, the pedigree.
The pedigree, yeah.
I like it.
Lots coming in. Nature Boy says the figure 4 leg lock. What other finishing move would the Nature Boy like better? This one says number 3, John Bradshaw, Latefield, clothesline from hell. Undertaker, Tombstone, pile driver, Macho Man, the flying elbow. If Bruce Boudreau heard this, he might 619 all of you. Al Snow, snowplow. Remember Al Snow come out with a mannequin head?
Oh, God, right.
Not to mention Rikishi or Scotty 2 Hotties finishing move. That's from the Salty Turtle. He would just throw, who's this? Razor's Edge.
I liked an NWA sometimes. Like the match would be like an hour long, and you know the heel would be on his last legs. The hero would almost get him, and the manager would throw in a roll of quarters. Yeah. And the guy would hit, and quarters would go flying, and everyone's losing their marbles at the ref because how do you not see the quarters? He hit him with a roll of quarters. And you go up, and this everyone's not. Oh God!
Foreign object.
Yeah.
Jeremy the Survivor, $1 Million Dream is number 1. Kai says Edge did a spear, I think, and I like Rob the Plumber. What about Hacksaw Jim Duggan? Hitting people over the head with a 2x4. I don't know if that or what that the finishing move was called, but it was a solid one.
I still remember, was it Saturday afternoons or Sunday afternoons? Like Stampede Wrestling with Ed Whalen, too. Like Makam Singh. Like, what was his finishing move?
Simon the Terrible.
Yeah. I think he threw like fire in guys' faces. Like, it was like lighting coffee made on fire and stuff.
A lot of guys came out of there, man.
Yeah.
That was a factory. That was definitely a factory. Let's get to the nasty chat for some here. There's a ton. Holy smokes. Jordy Maxwell's bionic elbow. VR Montenegro says Gold Dust Shattered Dreams.
Yeah, oh yeah. The mandible claw from wasn't Mankind mandible claw? He put his hand. Yeah. Too many hands in your people's mouths there.
GSB says for Brock Lesnar was the F5.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know
the tornado, you'd kind of throw him.
Kevin Nash from Swain again says jackknife powerbomb. Let's see here. The mandible claw. Yeah, we already got that one. Yeah, there's so many good ones. So many good ones. The old school, like they've evolved more because guys get so creative and they're so limber and all that. Yeah. But there's so many good ones out there.
It was great. Missed those days.
Yeah, it's different now.
Yeah. And it was a unique time, like because there was that Attitude Era of WWF. There was nothing better because it was just wrestling went from good guys and bad guys to factions. It was great.
It was
so great.
Like watching that McMahon documentary when there was one episode of the Attitude Era. Like that was my favorite.
Yeah,
like holy smokes, You had Stone Cold and Vince's problem. You had The Rock in there as well. You had DX.
Degeneration, DX. Yeah,
it was just phenomenal. There's no other era in wrestling I think can ever outdo that.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you look back at that. It's like
wrong.
You won't get away with this in this day and age. Another sneaky move by Ric Flair was when he'd poke you in the eye. Remember?
Oh, the thumb. Yeah, the thumb in the eye. Yeah, get it all ready.
Or like when he was like super excited and he started doing his walk and then he'd just face plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he'd just be fine and then just fall down. Ric Flair was great, man. I liked when there's that meme where he's walking to the ring and kind of doing that little short hop in a suit, and it says rolling into work at 4:00 just so you can go to drinks at 5 with your coworkers. He's great. That beyond the ring stuff with him, man. I don't know how this guy's still alive.
Yeah, You're talking about Ric Flair, right? Yeah, like this guy drinks every day, man.
Yeah, it's like he's going to outlive everybody. The cucaracha.
GSP says it's about to happen again. WWE is going to Netflix.
Oh.
I like this one. This guy was one of my favorite wrestlers. You'll remember him. No name on this text, but it says the flying elbow from Tito Santana.
Oh, Tito Santana, yeah. Yeah, what was the Jimmy Superfly Snuka? He had that too. He was didn't he? I think he killed his spouse though, didn't he?
Well, it's
still under investigation.
Well, it's because it's part of Dark Side of the Rings episode. Yeah.
No,
he's never been charged. But yeah,
I just liked him because I think he was at a place where we were playing. Some guys went and met him, and he was just whacked out on something. And all he did was, you know how he never left character. He goes, "You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful."
He's scary too.
Oh yeah.
Remember Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?
Oh, I loved Ricky the Dragon. He always got beat up all the time though.
Remember when Macho Man hit him with the bell in the throat and he had no voice, and then they went to the WrestleMania? Yeah. Oh, it was so awesome.
I couldn't talk. Oh, just great.
It's wrestling back in the day. Like I'm not into it anymore. I've tried to get back into it, Gager, and it just doesn't feel the same. Like I know they have with the Bloodline. I think that storyline's kind of cool with like Roman Reigns and all those guys. But it's really hard to get into now. I don't know, man. It's not the same when it was like obviously in the late '80s, early '90s, and of course the Attitude Era. We'll never see that again because I feel like they have the talent, but you're never gonna have a Rock or a Stone Cold again.
You might eventually again, but it was. Yeah, it was just a different time, man. Just a different time.
Keep those texts coming in as went down a wrestling wormhole here for Hernan's role, which was awesome. Just your top 3 or your favorite finishing moves in wrestling, past or present, in honor of Rey Mysterio's 50th birthday today, and one of the coolest moves in wrestling still. It's called the 619, Zach.
I actually don't know. Oh. I'd assume so.
You're not a wrestling guy, are you?
Not a big one, no. I played the games WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 on the Wii. That's about it.
Okay. I think so, because you like combat sports. I thought I know it's sports entertainment. It's a little bit different, but.
Oh, I loved it when I was younger, but now I watch the big boy stuff,
the real thing.
The big boy
stuff.
Hey,
it's all real. Well, yeah, he's stepping in an octagon.
I still would love to go to a WrestleMania.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I went and when in Portland and Junior, we went to Ric Flair came to the WWF at that point, and he wrestled Hogan.
Oh, okay.
And it's a unique crowd. Let's just say that.
It definitely is. All right, let's switch. VR Montenegro. Coco Beware's Brainbuster. Oh, I love Coco Beware.
JYD Junkyard Dog. Oh gosh, yeah.
And the song he came out to.
Yeah,
man, that was awesome.
Oh God.
Big John Studd.
Right.
There's so many, man. King Kong Bundy, Rowdy Piper.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Great memories.
Your Niners play tomorrow night.
Yeah, they got to win if they want to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. So I'm glad it's on cable. Be able to watch it. The Rams are playing well though, and I think they've already come back once against this team earlier in the season where the
think
Niners
that's going to be a good game.
Should be. But the Niners are a bit of a mess. I mean, they beat the Bears, but the Bears are a bigger mess than the Niners. Debo went to social media this week and complained about he's not getting the ball enough. And it's just so many. Like, Debo Samuel's fallen for me so far. Like, he's so worried about his look and dancing before the game. And, like, just play the game and stop complaining, man.
I know.
Like, seriously. So, yeah, I'm a little upset with a few Niners. Not that they care or anything like that. But I did want to get to this. So, this day in sports history, 1992, Gager, the NHL governors named Gary Bettman as the first NHL commissioner in league history. It went into effect in February 1st, 1993. But when you think back to Mr. Gary Bettman, a lot of lockouts, but he's done some good. The Oilers are still here because he was a big part of that. Let's not go to the negative because we can all say the lockouts, obviously, they're terrible, especially when we missed a whole season. But what are some of the good things you think he's done for this?
Well, say what you want, but I think he's done a lot of really good things for the game as well. If you're an owner of an NHL team, you're quite happy with his results. There's a reason why he's been at the helm for this amount of time. Though I think he's done great. A very good job with growing the game in certain markets. And I know there's people that wish probably out east that, when you look at expansion, that they would look to Canadian markets more. But I think that we're almost getting to a point where a fresh new look might be required for the game. And I think he's done great. But sometimes you just, as you get older, I can say it by experience, you get kind of stuck in your ways and you have a certain formula and a way of doing things. And I think for the NHL, and it's going to be difficult because it's in the US, depending on the market and how good the team is, it's kind of a cultish following, except if you're from the Northeast. But I just think of a fresh set of eyes and some new ideas might be the way to go for the NHL going forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's 30 plus years now that he's been there. What has it been? 3 lockouts now?
Three lockouts, yeah.
Missed an entire season. But again, I look at the Edmonton way and they boo him here, and I always look back and I always like, if it wasn't for this guy and his salary cap, Edmonton Oilers wouldn't be here.
No.
And that's the reality.
And yeah, the probably the best thing he ever did was to put a salary cap into the NHL, because now what do you see? Just parity. Well, I mean, there are some teams that aren't.
The Oilers wouldn't be having McDavid and Draisaitl.
No. Gosh,
I'll tell you that much right now.
No, they would be at greener pastures for sure. And it was frustrating, man. Like I was my 2 tours of duty with Edmonton. The one time was we weren't good, but it was, you just went into buildings and you looked at the lineup compared to what you had, and you just, unless something miraculous happened or you got just a horrendous goaltending performance from the other team's goalie, there was just no chance. And even when, through the late 90s and early 2000s when the Oilers were a little bit better, it still was tough because you'd have to go up against these, at
Detroit.
that point, what was it, 60, 70 million that was at that, and that was just ridiculous.
And the Oilers were like 30?
Maybe.
Yeah. And I always remember to the summer when the Oilers had to trade Doug Weight, because Doug Weight didn't want to leave. He made it very clear publicly, but they couldn't afford him.
Yeah.
Because of the damn salary cap, right? So you let you go of your best player. What you got in return didn't match it, because I think you got Marty Riesener, Joaquin Hecht, and maybe not Marty Riesener. Joaquin Hecht for sure, and a defenseman. I can't remember the defenseman's name, but he didn't play a long time here in Edmonton. But yeah, there were frustrating times because you just couldn't compete. You couldn't compete with Dallas. You couldn't compete with Detroit. You couldn't compete with Colorado. You couldn't compete with New Jersey. Like, it was just, it was awful. Like, for the young people that watch the Oilers now, like, the Oilers are, like, everybody, hockey fans all over in every city are very lucky because of the salary cap.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And just to touch on Doug Weight for a second, I remember the night when he got traded, because he phoned everybody that played on the team that year.
Yeah.
Just to let everyone know. So I was pretending I was Indiana Jones trying to find the perfect pint along White Ave, and I got a call, and it was Doug Waite telling me, and basically said, "Hey, Joaquin, I just wanted to let you know I got traded," and just went. I think it was it was great to have you as a teammate. I'm gonna miss my time in Edmonton. I loved it, and he just went on. It was
That's
like
nice.
You don't get guys like that. Like he didn't need to do that for me, but just goes to show you there's a reason why he's in the Wall of Fame in Edmonton. He was just an unbelievable guy.
Yeah, he was a guy that, everything's led to where the Oilers are now. I get it. But I think Gary Bettman, outside of that, is there anything else he's done? Like the outdoor games, sure. But we talked about it yesterday that they kind of run their course.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of sick of them. Expansion.
I want to, we were talking about I was thinking on the way home, these outdoor games and things like that, all-star games. Do you think, and I thought about this, do you think that the NHL should go to more of like a Pro Bowl style where or maybe it happens before the draft, there's an all-star game, like a Pro Bowl game at that point. This like guys are done and they go to maybe they go to Vegas for the awards ceremony. There's the all-star game. Season's done. There's no, and look, no one's going to get injured at those things, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Reed laid it out great on his show. How why does the NHL take so long to be completed? And he laid out a formula brilliantly of how you can have the Stanley Cup awarded the first week of June.
Yeah, because Bettman was like, "No, we're good," and it was ridiculous that Florida was awarded the cup in late June, Gage. Like, it went right into the draft and free agency.
The next day.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It's far too long. And listen, I always laugh with Gary Bettman. Even my cousin would laugh because the little guy's got attitude. Like, and he walks around like,
he's
you're not
the big dog.
And I find it funny, like, because I'm like, look at this little, like, you know what I mean? But he has so much power.
Yeah.
But I think he's done some good things. I think there's stuff that he's kind of naive to and kind of keeps going. The Arizona thing was a disaster for him, but he never wanted to move it, never wanted to go away from it. He thinks the offsides and the goaltender interference is fine. So I don't know if he just says that publicly to back up his...
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually sit down off the record and get his view on everything, because to him, when he talks, everything's great. Our game's never been better.
And you don't expect him to go up there and be like, it's terrible. We need to fix this and we need to fix that.
I mean, I'm going to watch the Four Nations because I'm interested. But on the whole thing about the All-Star game, the big guys don't even want to go.
No.
They've gone so many times, and all you see are all your other teammates either relaxing with their families, having fun, going on a quick trip or something.
That's a great point, though. Like, if you gave all the guys selected the All-Star game, say, do you really want to go or spend a week off with your family or your girlfriend, or if you're single by yourself, go to Mexico or something? I guarantee you, none of them would want to go.
Dude, they had to put in a rule that if you say you're injured, you at a certain time frame before the All-Star game, you have to miss like 2 games afterwards. Like Ovechkin said, you know what, I'm not going. I'll take the 2 games or whatever it was a few years ago, right? So I would like to see them just move it to the end of the season or close to the. I like having the
How about
draft.
just scratch it?
You don't need it.
Do you need an All-Star game?
No, because it's meaningless unless it's probably in your home city.
Unless you want to do like a showcase of the young talent, because the young guys are more eager to go to that because it's their first experience. But let the old dogs, like Crosby, doesn't want to go.
I mean, you're not growing the game. Oh, McDavid has to go to the All-Star game because he's the best player. The skills, I don't. Who cares? Kucherov could barely stand at the last one. Couldn't make a pass. One of the best passers on the planet couldn't hit a target 5 feet away.
Yeah, he could care less, man.
Yeah. He got booed, man.
Yeah. Because he was giving and I don't blame him.
No.
I don't blame him at all. So, I'd just do away with All-Star games. That's something Bettman definitely has to look at.
Have it in Vegas every year with the draft at the Sphere. Have a quick little all-star game kind of 3-on-3 thing or whatever you want. But then, because maybe players don't want to take part in. But just have it later. Just play hockey. If you want to break through during the year, give them a break, 1 week break. But I'm not. Who watches the All-Star game?
Yeah, I don't. I can't remember last time I watched one. We say hello to the Winnipeggers, the WSTers, the Hustlerites joining us here. Matt Hyman says, I promised WST more wrestling talk. I'm like, scroll back after the show's done. They'll keep it locked right now. But we did about 30 minutes on the best, your favorite wrestling finishing moves of all time in honor of Rey Mysterio's 50th birthday today. Of course, he has 619, I think his move's called. So we had a lot of old school finishing moves. I think Gager went with the sleeper hold. No, he went with the figure four.
No, DDT.
DDT. I went with the Stone Cold Stunner. Zachticum went with...
I'll go RKO.
Tombstone?
RKO or Tombstone. It's a close tie.
So we had a lot of wrestling talk. If our Winnipeg listeners want to throw in their favorite finishing moves in wrestling of all time, we'll read them coming up in the next segment. More coming up here as we roll on. 66 thumbs up. Let's get to 100, over 100 today. So please smash that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. And also hit the subscribe button if you haven't. We greatly appreciate it. More eyes on the station, more eyes on all our shows. More sports talks coming up here on EST Afternoons. It's Joaquin Gage. It's Hernan Salas. But first up, here's a sports update with Zach.
The Edmonton Oilers have claimed defenseman Alec Ragula off waivers from the Boston Bruins, and the 24-year-old was drafted by the Red Wings in 2018, having 1 goal in 22 career games. On a 2-game slate, it's the Senators facing the Ducks and the Rangers dropping the puck against the Sabres, having the Oilers back in action tomorrow. And there's just one AJHL matchup seeing Bonnyville and Devon, while the WHL has 3 games on tap, seeing the Blades face the Hurricanes. And the 49ers have ruled out Trent Williams and Malik Mustafa for tomorrow's game with the Rams, while the Commanders have claimed KJ Osborne from the Patriots. The NBA has the Raptors in action against the Heat, while the Kings battle the Pelicans and the Celtics meet the Pistons, having 3 games in the association. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Step into a whole new golfing experience with indoor courses that automatically tee up the ball for you. Play with over 240 courses worldwide, all enhanced with a hydraulic swing plate that replicates real-life ball lies, moving in 24 different directions. Whether you're up for a casual round or a serious game, they've got memberships and flex passes to fit your style. Plus, premium members get winter bag storage. And don't miss out, Gimme Virtual Golf is giving away a free hour of golf every week. Visit Gimme Virtual Golf today and discover just how fun indoor golf can be. Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage continue their show just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmonton EdmontonSportsTalk.com or head to our website, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Keep the messages coming into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Text 780-218-9999. Hammer that thumbs up. Let's get to 100. Lots of wrestling talk, lots of Oilers talk. We just talked about the little guy, Gary Bettman, the little tough guy.
Yeah.
Little tough guy. And we just want to say, well, we're welcoming in a new partner, the Gimme Virtual Golf out here in the West End. They're on 108 46 170th Street. You heard Zachary, the liner there. They've jumped on board for our sports updates here, Gager. Looking forward to working with Michael here, not just now, but in the future. And we're going to have some fun with it as well, as we will be giving away, just let me pull it up here. So we will be giving away 2 hours of golf every 2 weeks. They would have to go to Virtual Golf to redeem their prize, but we'll provide obviously the name and phone number and all that. So maybe next week we'll start and give away our first free 2 hours there at Virtual Golf. And like you said, it's a pretty cool place because it's got over 240 courses. What's cool though is that it has a hydraulic swing plate that replicates real life ball lies.
Really?
Yeah. So, and then I think it also has an automatic tee up for the ball.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
so you don't have to like move around and all that.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be giving away 2 hours every 2 weeks here going forward. So stay tuned for that. We got to find a fun and creative way how to give this prize away, Gager, because I know a lot of people love
with
virtual.
them and go golfing because you don't golf.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a prize.
That's a prize. Watching you swing the club, that'd be awesome.
No, but we got to find a fun way on how to give away.
Oh,
yeah. So maybe you...
I can't believe you don't golf.
You, Zach, and I can come up with something creative that gets everybody involved and bumps everybody up, the numbers and all that. You know what, Gager, in my 20s, I did, like... My group of friends, it's funny because we didn't golf in our 20s. Now a lot of them golf now. Yeah. And I just never, like, I've tried it. I'm not, like, and it's frustrating when you're not good at it, obviously. Like, I'm terrible. I can't even hit the ball, man. So I just don't go. Don't go. It is expensive.
It is expensive.
And time consuming. And you know what I don't like about it is when you're out there, like, if I'm going to do something and pay that kind of money, I want to relax. But the group behind you, sometimes you get people, like, rushing you. And it's just, you're never really relaxed, right? Am I off on that?
No, you're completely right. I mean, when I'm hitting 160 at the range, or sorry, on the course, probably one or two people or groups of people pass by me, and usually it's the guy who's in retirement who could probably play the entire course in maybe an hour or something like that if he was going a little bit quick. But for me, it's like I see somebody behind me, and especially if they're looking to tee off on the same hole. And I've swung at the ball maybe 8 times already, and I'm barely halfway to the green. That's exactly what the feeling's like. Like you're trying to hang out. You're trying to just enjoy your time, and then you feel bad because you suck.
That's what I mean. Like it's and now like my friends are all like they're a lot better than I am. And then you talk to like Tommy and Matt and like you guys golf well.
No, I don't.
No. But you're like, but you can hit the ball off the ground. I can't.
No, not really.
No?
No.
Okay.
But I like doing it. I just don't care when people like and Maddie and Tommy, like we had this discussion in the hangout, and like they were like, oh, being on the golf course for 5 hours, 5.5, 6 hours is just ridiculous. Why do you want to get out off the golf course? What's the rush? You know, it's usually great out. It's nice. The sun is shining. You're out with your friends, usually having a good time. I never understood the rush to get off and finish a round of golf.
Like what's the rush? Like if you're doing 18 holes, like you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of my good buddies for his birthday likes to go golf, so they always they invite me, but I never go, so I never go to.
You sit in the cars? Why don't you just go sit in the cars?
I know, but people are like swing, and then everybody laughs. And oh man! So maybe this virtual golf at Gimme is gonna help my game, right? Just at least to learn how to swing properly.
I'm convinced that the only thing holding me back from the seniors tour is a good set of clubs.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone have a really good set of left-handers? Let me know.
Oh boy! So yeah, make sure to check out Gimme Virtual Golf, 170th Street, 10846. It's a great place. I think we want to go check it out as a group, and everybody can laugh at me because I'm probably the only non-golfer here. And Zach too, so you can laugh at both of us.
But Zach golfs, he goes hits the range and stuff.
So we got to find.
Pretend.
So we got to find a way. You walked away again, Zach. You've been very active today. We're gonna be giving away two free hours every 2 weeks at Gimme Virtual Golf. We got to find a creative way of how to give this prize away. So let's put our thinking caps together. Not right now, but leading up until next week, because we'll probably give our first 2 hours next week and find a fun way. Even if our nasties want to give us ideas on how to give this away, we got to come up with something creative and fun, Gager.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. Nashville Predators, Gager. It's December 11th. They're dead last in the entire NHL. They've won 7 games in regulation. 7.
Ooh.
Can you explain to me how a team who had an offseason like they did, they probably were the top 3 offseason team in the NHL, including with the Oilers, because the Oilers were pretty hot right up until they hired Stan Bowman. But what has happened to this team, and what do they do going forward?
That's interesting, man, because they are not going to make the playoffs. I'll say it right now. They're done. Just the way they play. Goal differential of -28.
That's crazy, man.
And with the personnel that they have, there's no way they should be that bad. It's disgusting what's happened in Nashville. Plus, when I heard of the announcements of the players that they signed, I thought, aside from the Oilers, I mean, they made some huge offensive gains where when you watch the Nashville Predators last year against the Vancouver Canucks, the thing that you thought that was holding them back was that little extra punch offensively. And it looked like that's what they addressed and they fixed in the offseason. But wow, it's amazing how you have to find the right mixture with the proper team and just a complete miss. It's puzzling why it's not working at all. Mm-hmm. They should be a lot better. But I guess, I don't know. You're asking me what they do? I think they got to look to unload these guys. Start over.
Okay, let's go through it, though. But, who are you unloading? You're not unloading Stamkos, are you?
Yep.
But
it's not working.
Well, let's look at his contract. Steven Stamkos. 4 more years, including this one, 4 years total, $8 million. You can move that.
You can move that.
Yeah, you can move that.
You can move that.
I don't think you're moving Philip Forsberg because he's your guy.
No, you don't. I don't know, man. He's 30 years old. Do you just... You probably look at... It's probably something at the draft, maybe. You're unloading these guys and getting some picks back. Maybe some young guys that are on the cusp in organizations of teams. You don't want to start completely from scratch. I mean, what are they at for... I mean, their current cap space is $7 million. I would look to get some young, good forwards. If I am the Toronto Maple Leafs, I am very worried. Well, not too worried because they do have Pajama
Tavares.
John is going to come off the books. That's a big $11 million. But if I'm looking at that Matthew Nyes, he becomes a restricted free agent next year. Makes $925. He's a really good young player. 22 years old, big, strong, fast. I would be looking at certain players like that with teams that could trying to get those through offer sheets, things like that to become competitive again, because they're an old team too.
So you can move Stamkos because it's not that bad of a deal. You can probably move Jonathan Marchessault because he's 33 years old, and like Gager said, you probably want someone younger. That's 13.5 off the books right there. Ryan O'Reilly at 4.5 for the next 3 years. I mean, if you can get a high pick or a good prospect, you probably make that move as well. But you don't hate keeping him either. Everybody else is pretty much young and on a very, very low deal. Defensively, the one that's going to hurt him is Brady Shea at $7 million. That's almost unmovable.
No, and he's signed through to 2031. That's an anchor. That is a huge, huge anchor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Marchessault's up until 2029, so he's got 5 more years. And then, Stamkos is 4. So Brady Shea's a big one. I mean, Luke Chen, you can move. There's a playoff team that will take a Luke Chen to be your 6-7.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're not moving Roman Josi. Actually, you never know, man.
Like,
you never know.
Like, this is... I don't know. Like, if they finish where they are... obviously, you get a pretty good pick.
And then Saros, you're keeping because he's your guy.
You just signed him too, didn't you? Yeah, you just signed him to an extension to 2033.
And that extension kicks in next year.
So,
comments.
These are horrible moves by the GM.
Comment says Jets are eyeballing a few Preds players. And Rip City says, I think everyone is eyeballing a few players here. And listen, I think they're Marchessault and Stamkos and Shea. They said, okay, we're good enough to be in the playoffs. I don't know if you're good enough to be a Stanley Cup contender. And because at the time, Gage, we were all praising these moves.
I know. It's the benefit of hindsight's always kind of nice when you're talking about these things.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've kind of pushed buttons. I believe that Barry Trotz mentioned after the first 10 games saying we might have to rebuild here.
He said by November something we'll know what we're gonna
do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. You're tied with Chicago. Come on.
Comment says, did Stammer divide the room just by arriving? We'll never know that because we're not in there. But Stamkos doesn't seem like that kind of guy. I just think it's one of those years where we saw with the Oilers after the 2017 run where it just didn't click anymore. And I think this is just not – this group does not work well together, Gager. That's obvious where they sit because they can have a turnaround, but Gager, it's going to take a lot for them. Like they're going to have to go double what the Oilers did last year to get back into this.
Basically.
And the Oilers won 16 straight.
Yeah, that's
they'd probably have to win 20 around there to just get in the conversation again because – I looked at the standings today and I was blown away that they only have 7 wins, Gager.
Yeah, what are they? 20 points. They're 13 out right now.
And that's hard to make up. It's hard to make up 6 points. Man.
Yeah, they have to go on an extreme run, and essentially they cannot lose to anyone in the Western Conference.
Pretty much. But I'm more optimistic that they can make moves because Stamkos' cap hit is not that bad. I mean, it's $8 million, but there's teams,
good.
But there's teams that can take that on. Marchessault is a really good deal. 5.5.
Yeah, but he's 33
He's 33. That's what hurts. Ryan O'Reilly's 33 as well. And then after that,
I talked about this. Or we probably got to go to break, but I talked to this with Dusty. I mean, Steven Stamkos. When you look at it, I didn't understand why he didn't re-sign in Tampa because he wanted He felt his worth was a lot more.
Yeah,
I understand that, but you've made his estimated career earnings are close to $120 million, right? And then you see guys like Sidney Crosby take the. He's got cups already. He doesn't. There's nothing else to prove.
He should have just stayed there.
Should have taken like a $1-2 million.
Yeah.
Allow the Tampa Bay Lightning to bolster the lineup, and you're still going to be probably in the top 6.
Yeah.
Right? And have the opportunities to compete for more cups. It's
crazy.
It made no sense that he had to leave because he felt he was worth more money. I don't get it. I didn't like it when I thought it was cool he went to Nashville because you'd be able to see him a bit more. Obviously a little bit older Stamkos, but man, I guarantee he's looking at that right now. Goes, God, what did I do?
Yeah. Comment says, I'm crying that 33 is old. No. Old in hockey terms.
Hockey terms.
Yeah.
It's ancient.
33 is very, very young. And our Zach just informed me that Vernon Adams Jr. has restructured his contract with the Calgary Stampeders. Good on him. That shows he's a good guy. He's committed to winning and probably lowering his AAV so they can build around him, which is always solid. We'll wrap up EST Afternoons here for this Wednesday afternoon. Coming up next, we'll also tee you up for Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne. They'll take you home from 3 to 6. We're back tomorrow 6 to 6. And then, of course, actually 6 to 5:30 as the pregame show will start at 5:30 with the Oilers in Minnesota for its 6:30 start. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Up next, we close out the show and set you up for the Reed Wilkins show. But first up, a sports update with Zach.
Alec Ragula has been claimed off the waivers by the Edmonton Oilers, taking him from the Boston Bruins, with Ragula having 1 goal in 22 career games. Elsewhere, the Rangers and Sabres dropped the puck before Jacob Trouba and the Ducks battle the Senators for only 2 games in the NHL, with the Oilers back at it tomorrow against the Wild. In the CFL, Vernon Adams Jr. and the Calgary Stampeders have agreed to restructure his contract for the 25-26 seasons, with general manager Dave Dickinson saying that the move gives the Stamps, quote, more salary cap flexibility. On the court, the Raps are without Scotty Barnes for at least a week when they throw it down with the Heat, while the Pistons play the Celtics and the Kings meet the Pelicans on a 3-game NBA slate. EST Afternoons wraps up just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Celebrate the season by creating space for your holidays. Sentinel Storage. Affordable and flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
It's 2:45 EST Afternoons. The last segment here. It's Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch here with you. Make sure you hit up the thumbs up button on the YouTube channel. We're 15 away from 100. If we can get there in about 9 minutes, that would be great. Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne, coming up as per usual. Portion of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brew House for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brew House can help you raise funds for your crew. Details in-store or online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. The Edmonton Oilers coming off a 2-1 win. They're back in action tomorrow as they head to Minnesota to take on the Wild, the place they haven't been very successful in. I think Tommy said yesterday they haven't won in Minnesota since 2019, Gager.
Wow.
So let's see if they can flip that script at least for one night. And I'm intrigued to see if they go with Calvin Pickard in that game. I'm okay with either. I think Skinner's riding high, though, so why not go with the hot hand? Not saying that Picard's not, but give them a run here. Let's see what they have. The Oilers also claimed defenseman Alec Ragula from waivers. He's coming from the Boston Bruins. He's a right shot blue liner, selected 67th overall by Detroit in 2018. He's appeared in 22 career NHL games with 1 goal. He is 24 years old, so we'll wait and see what the plan for this gentleman is tonight. This day in sports history, we already touched on Gary Bettman. Gager, Mario Lemieux, owner of the Penguins, announced that he would end his 3-year-plus retirement and become an active NHL player again. That was that Crosby? No. When Crosby got drafted, he came back, didn't he?
No, that was 2001.
Oh, okay.
We were playing the Colorado Avalanche that game, and obviously we were watching that game before. And his first shift, I think he had an assist after. And we were all just watching that, and we're like, how? How does that happen? How do you take that much time off and make everyone look stupid again so easily? Like, it was just
ridiculous.
Some of those guys. He was great, man. I remember just watching him in the old, not the new Pittsburgh arena, but the Igloo, whatever it was. And he came out there and he just kind of lumbered around, and they did a drill. He went in, went bar down. And then everyone was doing, you go on one side of the ice, and then all of a sudden Mario just goes to the other side. And it was like the head coach wasn't, I forget who the head coach was, but the head coach wasn't out there running pregame skate. And then the assistant sees Mario on the other side. He blows the whistle, and all of a sudden, change sides. So they went and did it from the other side. Mario went a couple times, and then he went and stood somewhere else. And then the coach, okay, let's do this, and then off. It was basically he ran practice without really running it, which was interesting to watch.
And 32 years ago today, the Edmonton Oilers acquire Roman Oksuda in a 3rd-round pick in 1993 for Kevin Lowe.
Yeah, old Roman. He was a beauty, man. Lots of talent. Only guy that ever called himself up.
Please tell this story. I've heard this before.
Yeah, I was there. We there was a slight break, and some guys were getting there on their own, but we were playing in Rochester, and Roman didn't show up. He didn't know, and I don't know where the Oilers were, but he went to wherever the Oilers were, and everyone was like, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Well, I'm done. I've played in the minors. I'm good. I'm ready to play here now." And they go, "Get your butt back to."
They didn't play him?
No, he sent him back. He came back to Rochester the next day.
So, his first year with the Cape Breton Oilers, he had 51 points in 43 games.
Yeah, he was a nasty player.
And his best NHL season with the Canucks, 95-96, 39 points in 56. With the Oilers, though, in 94-95, he had 11 goals in 26 games.
God, I don't know how he managed, because that guy, he smoked so many cigarettes. It was... I remember going into his hotel room down in Cape Breton, and you couldn't see anything. It was like the fog settled in, and I was like, "Roman?" And moving it around, and he's like, "Hey, Gage, come in." And he looked at his ashtray, and remember, if everyone remembers of a certain vintage, ashtrays were still in hotel rooms back then. It was a mountain of cigarette butts, and I sat with him because I thought it was just hilarious, and he was just chain smoking, going from one to the other, and we were watching, I think it was Wheel of Fortune or something like that. What this game? I don't get it.
I feel like a lot of the Russian players back then smoked.
Everyone smoked. Yeah. Your favorite Russian smoked?
Kovalenko? Oh, Ulanov? Bobo? Really?
Oh yeah. Love the darts.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can have a dart. No, I got to get an activation in today. So,
hey,
thumbs up, please. We're 13 away from 100. 6 minutes.
Zach, let's cater to our affliction, True Religion wearing fan base with some UFC news. I see Duplessis and Zhang to defend their titles at UFC 312. Duplessis fought Sean Strickland before.
Yeah, Dricus Duplessis.
Duplessis, sorry.
Yes,
Duplessis.
Yeah, no, I thought it was Duplessis as well.
Okay.
So It's a common mistake. Yeah, they've fought before. I'm trying to remember how the fight went. Like, it was a really close fight. I mean, Duplessis, he can't really strike. He kind of just throws haymakers at you, in a sense, to try and deter you. Kind of like, you know, somebody smoking a cigarette and blowing the smoke in your face and trying to go take you down, in a sense. But, no, it was a great fight the last time they fought. This is going to be a great matchup here because Duplessis, like, as I said, he can't strike, but he is really good at taking people down and just kind of draping over them. Like, he choked out Izzy, what was it, in the 4th round? Israel Adesanya, and he has the belt for a reason, while Weili Zhang, she's a great champ up against Suarez, but I think Zhang just walks past her, man. She is just a phenomenal fighter. Like, in the female division, she is probably the best, if not the top tier, like upper echelon. And you compare her to any of the male athletes, she'll outwork all of them.
When is this fight?
This isn't until February 8th. This is for a while. The next UFC is 311, however, January 18th.
Because Sean Strickland, he fights pretty straight up and is more of a striker, is he not?
Just jabroni.
Yeah, he's very, like, it's weird. He has a Philly shell.
Yeah.
So he walks with the Philly shell. He kind of just throws a couple jabs, is straight. Maybe
he
a couple
walks
hooks.
people down, though, right?
Yeah.
That's he's
like a walking zombie.
I kind of like that. But
he's a very boring fighter, I want to say, but he does it in a great way because he doesn't try and do too much more than he should. He just does enough. Like, all he needs is a quick kick down the middle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses his teep kind of like a jab where he just pokes you kind of with his toes in the belly button to push you off, and then he jabs you with the straight. He has like 4 moves, basically. He's like a really basic, video game character. Or it's like if you play Mortal Kombat and only know a couple of the controls, it's kind of what he's like, but he does it super effectively. Yeah, no finishers for him. Well, he gets a lot of finishes, but no finishing move for him, no WWE.
When there's big fights, we're going to have a UFC guest, and Coop's going to be involved in the interview because he's a big fan. He breaks it down great. He knows all the guys because there's so many now, Gager.
Yeah.
I also wanted to... Ralph Intranuval's birthday today. He's 51.
Ralphie!
Yeah.
Oh, what a great guy. Terrible story about him. We don't have time. I'll tell my Ralph Intranuval. I'll save it for tomorrow. Maybe old tales from Cape Breton for the red light district tomorrow. Maybe I'll dust a few of those old.
I do want to do a segment with you about like your times going. Like, I've always wanted to consider when you get called up and sent down, like how the day is for a player, like how it works. Like, do you get the call? Okay, this is your flight. Like, maybe we can get into that tomorrow. That'll be fun. Just kind of because it's cool, right? Because we never know what these players go through when they get called up and sent down. Like, for example, the Lavoie situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's probably taxing on the player, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that'll be fun. T. Wilson says, my grandma smoked 3 packs a day and lived to be 89. Maybe she was secretly part Russian.
Probably. Well, I think they offset it with vodka, too. But, man, unfiltered. Like, one of the saddest moments, I think, with Roman. Because I think he brought one hockey bag. It was full of smokes. There was another guy, too. I'll find out his name as well. I think Kelly Buchberger knocked out all his teeth in camp, but they were going to fall out anyway. He actually did him a favor.
He did him a favor.
Yeah.
Oh, I love these stories of these old players from Russia. They're the best. Absolutely the best. Ulanov, love you if you're watching. Same with Bobo. All right, guys, we got to get going here. Big thanks to Joaquin Gage and Zach. We raw dogged it, and it was a fun show. Highlights, lowlights at 120, and Hernan's roll was at 140. And we talked about the best finishing moves in wrestling in honor of Rey Mysterio. We also talked about Gary Bettman and the struggling Nashville Predators. Oilers game day tomorrow should be another fun one for Joaquin Gage and Zach. I'm Hernan Salas saying thank you for watching. Thank you for the thumbs up. Reed Wilkins is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.